Well, I get asked a lot on Facebook and on the bank, why do I mix different ground baits together, especially during the winter months? Well, I'm going to run you through one of my favourite mixes at the moment. I've had great success on it in the last couple of months, catching skimmers and catching lots of roach. Now, there's 3 different ground baits what I use. One is wormfish meal. It's something that I've used this year. I've not really used it up to now, but I love it. I think it's absolutely great. Now, the most questions I get asked is, why do I put a silverfish ground bait like Super Crumb Lake in with my fish meal? Now, I'm at Harescombe Fisheries today in Gloucester. This is a typical commercial where there's a lot of roach and there is some skimmers. Now, if I was coming here today in a match or on a pleasure session, I'll be thinking, right, the water is absolutely freezing. This is literally like liquid ice. We've had some really cold weather. As you can see from my breath, it's probably like 2 or 3 degrees today. So I'll be thinking to myself, right, I want to get some roach in me peg, but I also want to give myself the chance of catching some skimmers. Now, another good tip is when you do mix your ground baits, use a tub. Now, believe it or not, a 3-pint container like that is a kilo of ground bait. So if you put that level of ground bait, that's actually a kilo. So say I've got a 2 bag of F1 like that, I can get 2 of them in there. So it's really important. So what I'm going to do today on this venue, because there's a lot of roach and there's a few skimmers, I'm going to put a little bit more of the Super Crumb Lake in. So I'm just going to open that up like that. So I'm going to put 2 of these in, like that. So I've got about another pint and a bit left there for the next session. This is, like I said, this is one of my favourite ground baits at the moment, wormfish meal. I've caught a boatload of roach and skimmers over it. So I'm going to put one of these in, and I'm going to put one of the black F1s in. And what I like about F1, it's got that lovely sweet sort of caramel taste, smell to it. It's absolutely beautiful. And I'm going to put one of them in. Cool, that's lovely. That. And also, black F1 really turns the mix dark. So if you want to turn a mix, if you sort of look at the water when you get to the venue in the morning, you think, oh, it's not a lot of colour, it's clear. Add some black F1 and it really does turn the mix dark. So there you go. That's 2 of Lake, 1 of wormfish meal, and 1 of black F1. Now, say for instance I was going to somewhere like maybe Viaduct. I go there quite a lot on silverfish matches, and if I draw a real good skimmer area, then I might just, and if the weather's a little bit warmer, say it's sort of 8-9 degrees, it's been like that for a couple of days, I'll cut the lake out completely. I'll just put wormfish meal and black F1, and I've been mixing them 50-50. So I'll put sort of 2 3-pint containers of each mix in. So you can vary it, and once you get, if you've been going to a venue and you go there quite a bit and you think, I just want to adjust it, if you use little containers like that, it's really, really easy. You know how much of one mix you're putting in, so it makes it easy, and people don't quite get that. So if you do it like that, it's really easy. Now, I'm using a drill today, but you can mix it by hand, but using a drill with a nice whisk on it, it makes it a lot easier. So I'm just going to whisk that round dry to start with. Keep your fingers out. Like that. Just get at the bottom of the bucket with your fingers. Now you can see that. You can see like it's actually not that dark, but when I put water in it, that dark F1 will darken it off a bit. So I'm not going to put too much in. I've got a 3-pint container of water. I'm going to put half of that in. Mix that around again. Like that. So that's mixed round. And you can see now how dark, it's gone a lot darker than when it was dry. So that, and when I look at the water today, I think that's absolutely perfect. It's just got a little bit of a brown grey tinge to it. So what I would do then, that's how I want the mix, but I know that's going to dry out. That's how I want it, so I can literally give it 2 squeezes and it holds together like that. It's got that damp feel to it. Now that's going to dry out, but what I'm going to do, I'll get back to me peg, I'm going to put some particles in it, and then I'm going to show you how to, what I put in it and how I'm going to feed it. I'm ready to go. I've made me 6 balls of groundbait up. Now it's quite a bit considering the conditions I'm fishing in, mega cold, but there's a reason for that, and I love to put a volume of groundbait in with not a lot of particles in it. I've only put a small handful of maggots and a bit of chopped worm in, because I want those fish to come to the groundbait and pick out my hook bait. So putting quite a bit of groundbait in with not a lot of particles, believe me, works really well. So I'm going to pop me 6 balls in. Now that pot I got on there as well is quite important. It actually holds the ball in place so I can get out. I'm fishing 30 metres a day. I've got myself lined up with a feature on the far bank. Now when I tip my pot up, that pot holds the ball in, so I can actually twist the pot over and it actually sort of holds the ball in place. They're great. So I'm going to put my 6 in. I'm going to spread them about a little bit over an area like that, so I've got a nice little area. I'm not just going to put each ball down the same hole. So they're all going to be within like 2 or 3 foot. And that's what you want to do. You want to make an area, because when the fish come over it, you don't want them on a dinner plate. So I'm going to put this one slightly to the right. And you can vary that, you know. It's quite a deep lake, this one I'm fishing today. It's sort of 7 foot deep. But if you were going to a lake which was shallow, you could even put some loose groundbait in. So you can just imagine that all going down and making a big carpet on the bottom. I might put this one in just a little bit short. So I'll get to me 13 metre piece like that and just come back a foot. So like I said, I'm just making that nice little area so when the fish come over me bait, they'll settle and hopefully we'll catch a load of fish. Not sure what this is. I thought it was a big roach when I first looked at it. It was actually a skimmer. So that's brilliant. Caught a couple of little roach after about 10 minutes. Seen the groundbait start activating. It just shows you the power of groundbait even on freezing cold days like today. Putting them 6 balls in with very little particles in, and I've caught straight away. Absolutely brilliant.